with over 500 organizations providing project management training to organizations. So definitely, if you're interested in any kind of training in project management, I would, of course, recommend you to check the IPM website to see the various courses and training on offer. I'm Nadège Minois. I'm your host. I'm a project management communication specialist, and it's my pleasure to have you here every month. So before we begin, please tell us in the chat, where are you joining us from today? And usually we have a rather international audience. So please tell us where you're joining from. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And now I'm going to introduce today's speaker. So today's speaker is Dr. Tony Prenza. He's a leader in the fields of project management, information technology, and software engineering, with over 40 years of experience in various industry sectors. As the CEO and founder of TP Global Business Consulting, he has dedicated his career to implementing and maturing project management offices, or PMOs, across diverse organizations. His firm offered specialized services such as project planning, project recovery, and resource optimization, supporting companies in reaching their strategic and operational goals. And today, Tony will be talking to us about digital transformation and digital projects. So Tony, welcome.
Thank you very much, Nadège, and the IPN team for having me today. Nice Friday. It's noon around here in Florida, Orlando, the city that I live. They said this is the happiest place in the planet because of Disney. So it's a pleasure to be here with the audience. I saw a couple of names that familiar with them. And thank you for being here and listening to me. Today, so we're going to have a discussions around digitalization in the field of project management. So that's going to be the discussion. So feel free if you have any questions, so let's consider this a conversation that we're going to have for 45 minutes. That's the time that I have, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me start sharing my screen. So you see my background, my latest work as an author. So I released the digital project playbook. So it's real. So nowadays we hold the AI building images, but it's a real book. So I have it here, the hard copy. So if you can order the book, it's available in Amazon in both format, digital, and also hard copy. Okay, so let me share the screen. And here. So I have some slides to drive the discussion. So the title, Digital Shifts, Embracing Technological Change in Project Management, and subtitle, How Emerging Technologies Are Reshaping Project Management Practices. Again, my name is Tony. A little bit about me. So I love to talk and share knowledge with people. So I've been doing this, I think, since I graduated from my bachelor degree. I started teaching at the university and working in different companies. I had the opportunity as a consultant also to be at training. This is not just serving consulting services, but I also deliver training. So Sharing knowledge have been with me for all my career. So now the age says, so over 40 years, I started very young working in IT. That's the only thing that I have done in my career, working with technology. Around 3 years, I started my own company after serving in for 500 companies, 100 companies in the country, in US, and also in Latin America. I'm originally from Dominican Republic, but I grew up in Puerto Rico, so from the Caribbean. So I established my own company, TP Global Business Consulting, with the mindset of uh, sharing knowledge around the globe in the disciplines of project management, digital transformation, and also PMO. So later, I'm doing a lot of work with PMOs. So I am one of the judges for the PMO Global Awards with PMI. So I like to write also. So that's a way that I can share my knowledge and touch more lives. That's my purpose. So as I already mentioned about the book, and this is my QR if you wanted to connect with me. So I always writing something. I have a couple of newsletters in LinkedIn that around the different topics and research topic that I'm also doing. My PhD is in organizational leadership, so that connects also the business aspects of leading with organizations and also with the technology experience. So I have a mix of technical and business. So what we're gonna go is a little bit of introduction. So understanding the digital shift, the key drivers, overcoming challenges. Everything needs to be measured nowadays. So KPIs and ROIs and some practical examples of digital transformation projects and takeaways. So are the objectives that I have for you today. So learn some practical strategies for leveraging digital tools in project management environments, understand how to adapt technological advancements, and discover how to foster innovation and digital agilities to drive project success. So I always like to have something that we can focus during the discussion. So this is a case studies that I'm discussing throughout the different session of the presentation. So this is a company, it's not a real company. So this is a company, Nova Construct, and the company is in the infrastructures and construction. So you can see there is a mid-sized infrastructure firm operating across urban development, small mobility corridors, environmental engineering. So as part of the construction and infrastructure industry, this company, Nova Construct, handles complex, high-risk, multi-stakeholder projects where timelines, budgets, and compliance are critical and often under strain. So the company is, what's the problem? So that's one of the things always we need to know what are the pain points in the organization. So regulatory shifts around sustainability and carbon reporting increase competition from digitally native firms and growing demands for faster, more transparent project execution. So that's some kind of the challenges that the company is undergoing so far. So what projects are we going to be talking about here? So it's the smart city infrastructure. So there is a couple of features. The project includes fiber connected mobility infrastructure, smart traffic and utility management system, integrated green energy, intelligent public space design, et cetera, et cetera. So you see it's a very complex project that requires technology, digitalization. And so that's the base for a lot of the discussion. So keep that in mind. Team profile, so cross-functional, hybrid workforce. So the company have for these particular projects on-site engineers, remote project managers, global suppliers and partners, city planners and client side stakeholders, finance and compliance teams. What do you think? It's a complex endeavor, it's a complex project. So legacy projects delivery practices are failing. So the company is still using spreadsheet-based planning for limited version control, weekly email reports that often out of date, management procurements, approval chains, we know workflow automation, isolated team using different systems for task management, causing delays in coordination, a lack of centralized real-time dashboard for progress and risk visibility. So you see, there's a lot of opportunity for digitalization in the project environment. So what are the specific challenge at this company? There's a lot of frustration, like you can see in that image, working for this company as a project manager. So that result in inability to adapt, meets deadlines, cost overruns, low stakeholder confidence, confidence and burnouts and low morals, and many others that I didn't list, but just a few. Okay, so now that you have that scenario in your mind, so everything that we said, think about Nova Construct. So the digital shift in project management refers to a fundamental transformation in the way projects are planned, executed, and delivered by integrating advanced digital technologies and innovative methodologies. So this shift is driven by AI, everything AI nowadays, automation, cloud computing, data analytics, and collaboration tools. So what we're looking is to enhance efficiency, agility, and decision making. So when we talk about digital shift in project management, it's about all those things. So why the digital shift is no longer optional? So there are some facts. So I found a couple of references. 85% of organizations report that digital transformation accelerates project success. That's a positive. No? Another interesting one, digital first organizations are 64% more likely to achieve their strategic objectives. And that came from a good source from Harvard Business Review. Another one, companies using AI in project management see up to 35% reductions in project risk and 30% increase in project delivery speed. That's a good one. 70% of projects managers say AI will be game changer for improving decision making and forecasting accuracy. Came from PMI, a recent report that they released about Gen AI adoption. Another one from McKinsey, AI power tools can automate 50% of routine PMO activities, freeing up time for strategic work. So that's how we're looking for in establishing the PMO, project management offices, that are aligned with the strategic mission of the companies. Okay, I think that I have more. Another one, maybe you have heard about the no code or low code and citizen development. So by 2026, that's around the corner, that's next year, 80% of technology products and services will be built by non-technical users using no-code, low-code tools that came from Gartner. They always doing prediction. Citizen development initiatives improve delivery speed by 30 to 40 and reduce reliance on IT backlogs. IoT, real-time monitoring and smart systems. There are some interesting metrics there. IoT, Internet of Things, enable projects improved results tracking by 35% and reduced downtime by 25%. That came from Deloitte Insights. Real-time IO, Internet of Things monitoring, has been shown to improve construction project compliance by 40%. A lot of good things about technology, adopting digital tools in working for projects. And there are others also, we're gonna go around all the metrics, but there's a lot of good metrics that adopting digitalization in project management is a positive for organization. Okay, so let's understand when I said digital shift, what it is. I have a beautiful picture here. So again, so I'm gonna go over. But I had the opportunity, and thanks God that I'm still here. But that's 5 decades. That's one time I was thinking, so what you have done around those 5 decades. So I started in the 70s, in the late 70s, no, early 70s. I started working IT in 1978. I was a teenager when I started. And those things, those letters that you see on the top of each of the year is the focus of that particular decades. For example, when I started, it was the mainframe computing era. I started working in IT with punch cards and a mainframe environment. But we have, let's say, like a critical path method because that came from the engineering industry, but not a lot of tools, everything, a lot of manual. I remember that I used to do my scheduling on paper. And then in the 80s, the focus, now we have PC, the personal computer, that happened in the 80s. So remember, Microsoft was founded around 1982. So all of those tools to enhance the capability for project professionals to start doing things in the more automated manner. I don't know if you remember about Lotus, WorldStar, that was the word processing tool, and a lot of others. So by that time, I started using one scheduling software that developed by Harvard, Total Project Management, another one that was in the market, Timeline. By using the 90 now Microsoft projects, it's a lot of Microsoft projects scaling to around. And also was the early ERP system. Before we had individual system, and the concept of integration came around in the 90s. We ERP, SAP, a lot of organizations acquiring SAP, PeopleSoft, a lot of other software. And also the networking started being more common, like LAN, local area networks in organization. So in the project management, more integrated project scheduling, that we had a group of project managers working together and sharing knowledge and sharing information about projects. Resource management was more automated. And that was a great improvement in the way that we deliver projects. In the 2000, so everybody remembers, so I have a big project, so I was responsible for the Y2K for a big banks that I work. So technology also was increasing now in the 2000. Remember that Agile was started or developed in 2001. So a lot of companies started looking at different way of working, but not too many. A lot of we stay with the predictive methodologies like waterfall, but some companies started looking different methodologies to deliver faster. So that was one of the problems that we have at the time. Email, so a lot of collaborative systems were available for us to work as a team. Not a lot of visual or remote workers. A lot of people work together in the same place. 2010, that's another important era, decades. A lot of about agile methodologies continue being more popular in some organization. The concepts of software as a service, they started in the 2010s. BI, the business intelligence tools, I use a lot of those for processing data to enhance decision making around organization and also in project management. And now the 2020, everything is about AI, agentic AI. Have a robust data environment to deliver faster and make better decisions in the project that we support. So there's a lot of information. So I had the opportunity to live every decades and learning in every decades is a different learning. So the evolution of project management technology. So from
there is a question, Tony.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So you've just shown all this evolution and more tools coming up that we can use in project and program management. But Tracy has a question about how can small teams adapt digital project tools without overwhelming the team members when we see that multiplication of tools around us?
Yeah, that's an important question. So I also say that because before we didn't have too many options. And today, with so many tools and every day you see a new one, always offering the different feature. So the thing is that you can play that game with the tools. So you need to focus on what is your particular needs. What are the pain points in your organization? Tools is only a tool. So what I said, first understand what you need and then find the tool that fits those particular needs. And which tool is better? The better that fits you. Because you can buy, okay, so now it's like I remember doing evaluation for different tools, for example, in ERP, SAP, that's the Cadillac or ERPs, but that's too expensive, so I can't afford that. So, but you don't need that. So you need something that is for example, today, do you need an enterprise project management tool? That's very costly. Maybe you can use Trello, and Trello will fill the needs. So that's what I think. Focus on what you need and then evaluate what to fit better you. No go just by with the flow that acquiring everything that is out there. And if it serves where you, that's the tool that you need. It's the same with generative AI. So we have Copilot, we have Claude, we have ChatGPT, Gemini, and too many. So which one I need to pick? So you need to look at them and see which one fits you better and fit your team better. Which one has more adoption rate. So that's an important thing that we need to do in the evaluation. So retooling in organization is a project that you need to analyze, so you need to gather the requirements, and you need to make a decision which one fits your requirements. So you have seen many names. As I mentioned, project, Microsoft Project, Primaveras, and thousands of those. Cloud computing. So when I started, so we didn't have, everything was on premise. Now everything is cloud based. So why? or what it is, the digital chief in project management. Digital chief refers to the strategic integrations of advanced technologies into project management. So that's what I said. So you need to know the pain points, because you taking an action to integrate those tools to serve the organizations that you support. So everything needs to be connected with the strategic direction of the organization, strategic objectives. And you're using those advanced technology because it will deliver something. So you're going to have an ROI of them. So it's more than using the digital tool. It's about rethinking how projects are initiated, executed, monitored, and delivered in the digital first environment. And it represents a paradigm shift from traditional manual methods to intelligent, automated, data-driven, and adaptive project delivery. So everything goes together with agile mindset and adding value to organization. So I don't gonna go for example, for the scenario. So I took this information. So you already know about Nova Controls, is the case study that I'm using. So key friction. So what this company is suffering right now. So procurement is a problem. Providing updated reports is a problem. The teams is disconnected, side issues, all of those things are the problem that we need to focus on. So those are the pain points for this company. So if we think about how digitalization can help this organization, so let's say that we embrace AI. That's the potential solution for this problem. AI-powered dashboard to have real-time dashboards, so the C-suite or the executives, they can make more faster and better decisions. Automation everywhere to take advantage of the technologies that we can automate, so we eliminate um, eliminate people. That's not, I don't want to say that, but you have the opportunity to focus the attention of the team in some more strategic work instead of more operational kind of work. And also using IoT, because they have the disconnect among sites. So establishing Internet of Things sensors around the different location is a solution. So in that particular case, so how the digital shift will help the organization to resolve those current challenges. So why projects are becoming more complex? As you can see in the scenario, that's a complex project environment. Stakeholder demand real-time visibility, agility, and precision. PMI, they conducted a research that was at the beginning of the year, or at the end of the last year, when they conducted research about what is project success. And they surveyed the thousands of executives. So the executives, they raise the bar. So they require more. So the stakeholder demand more of us to add value to the organization. Now we are working a new normal that we call it, to working remotely, hybrid work environments that require digital collaboration. And competitive advantage increasingly depends on technological maturity and adaptability. So that's the environment that we are working on. So a little bit of information related to the case studies. So in this particular project, the complexity is because multi-phase, multi-stakeholder scope, cross-border regulatory and operational challenges, hybrid, distributed team, etc. Some practical strategies. So use project portfolio management if you can afford it. That should be the idea. So in digitalization, to have a centralized platform to manage your investment. So I said every project is an investment. So the collective for projects organization is the portfolio. So how are you going to manage the investment wisely? Integrate collaboration tools. So there are many others in the market that you need to analyze which one fits you better. And automate routine tasks. You can use the concepts of citizen development and adopt real-time dashboard for predictive decision making. So what executives are looking for, they want to predict the futures. And now with the capacity that we have to process huge amounts of data and the algorithm from machine learning, agentic AI, and generative AI, so you have the potential to know what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's the idea of having real-time dashboard. But the executives, they don't want to see a report. They want to have in their hands. So with the mobile technologies, there's a lot of opportunity to automate things that people, they can see and alert and see what's going on in their projects and the organizations, so they can react as soon as the issues arise. For this particular, so I'm just gonna mention some names that you already maybe know that. For project planning, so there are many tools. So the other days I was looking ClickUp. So ClickUp is taking some popularity, and Mondays, a lot of companies are looking to those one. So they offer visual tasks and project boards with real-time collaboration. That's important. Smart sheets in PMOs, a lot of PMOs, they are using a smart sheet. So for collaboration, so Microsoft Teams, a lot of companies, they married with Microsoft, so they use Microsoft Teams, but there are other collaborators that I like a lot, the digital whiteboarding, like Miro, Mural, Notion. And for automation and workflow efficiencies, so Microsoft, they have Power Automates, Zapier, that's a very popular one. And also Jira have taken a lot of bandwidth in so a lot of companies use Jira for many things. So the message here is save time by reducing manual tasks and ensure workflows run consistently. That's the important things. For analytics, so you have heard about those tools. So those are the big players. The Gartner, they have the Magic Quadrant, and they have those two tools as the top of the list: Power BI, Tableau, but also Microsoft, they release another one. It's a little expensive, the Fabric. Microsoft Fabric is also in that category, so analytics and dashboards. So if you have good data, you need to have good tool. And so that brings transparency to progress, risks, and performance that executives, they want to know about that. Risk management, those names that you can see there, Oracle, the Primavera was acquired by Oracle, Procore, RichWatch, and many others. Risk Love in a small dimension for a small business, I would recommend Raylog, and that's also software as a service. It's very affordable. IoT and field monitoring integration. So there are too many tools out there. So Outdesk, Trimble, AWS, IoT Code, Azure, so many other stuff, but you need to decide which one can you afford. Innovation and citizen development tools. So there are other tools out there that you can take a look. Okay, some key drivers for these digital shifts: cloud computing. That's a big thing. So since we have cloud computing, the opportunity for automation and integration with a lot of technology is huge. Artificial intelligence focus on forecasting and decision support, automation, and big data for project insights and analytics, and Internet of Things for real-time monitoring and data collection. The digital shift is driven by, so I already mentioned, blockchain for all contractings and secure transactions and sharing data. That's a big advancement in there. So we had challenges, like in anything else we do in life. So how we overcome those challenges. So one of the main challenges are about people. So according to McKinsey, 70% of digital transformation initiated fair, not because technology, but people and process challenges. So everything is about us. It's not technology, it's there. So, so the key challenges that they found is the cultural resistance. So we don't need that. We don't understand the technologies, so it's not safe. Skill gaps is about learning and knowledge. Integration complexities, leadership misalignments, fear of change, and job disruption. So challenge, so I have a different block. Challenge one, resistance to change, that's normal. Lack of executives buy-in, as another one. Unclear digital roadmap. So the organization, they don't have a roadmap for digitalization or digital transformation. And low use adoption rates. So they invest, but people, they don't use the technology. In challenge two, the digital skill gap. So we still need people to understand that digitalization is key for us to work in the current work environment. Inadequate change management, tool overload. So that's some, or you ask about too many tools out there. So tool overload and fragmentation, there's a lot of, and every day we're gonna see more of those. And measuring ROIs and success. So why we need to invest in technologies if we don't show the ROI. And in challenge number three, so I have the integration with legacy systems. Sometimes those integrations are very complex. Securities and data privacy is important. Budget constraint and balancing agility with governance. So we need to have processes in place, checks and balance, but you can jeopardize the agility of the company because you are afraid to lose data or expose the organization to other kind of risk. So building digital influences. So what we need to do is stay ahead of trends. AI, IoT, blockchain, digital twins, and how this technology help the organization to be better and connect with the strategies of the organization, how we're going to resolve those issues. All-skill your team promotes continuous learnings and digital literacy. Embrace hybrid methodologies. It's a blend. So I'm gonna have the opportunity to deliver a workshop in the that's in Saudi Arabia, via and the Global Project Management Forum. So one of the topics that we're gonna talk about is the hybrid project management. So it's very rare that a company fully agile or fully predictive. So it's a mix. So embrace hybrid methodologies is an important thing. Design thinking, how many people promote design thinking and work using the design thinking approach for product innovation. And cultivate growth mindsets and innovation culture, that also important. It's a never-ending story. So we always need to have the focus on learning, and becoming a lifelong learner to survive in the current world that we live. Empower team members to explore digital tools and solutions. Encourage cross-functional collaboration and idea generation. Implements agile, the different processes in agile discipline that enhance the feedback loops, and reward experimentation and calculated risk taking. So, so I had a quote that is in a fast moving world, failing fast isn't a flaw, it's a feature of intelligence learning and adaptive leadership. So you hear a lot about us in the agile world, fail fast, but learn fast too. So the one of the things that we need to I talk a lot about R&D, so the research and development in the organization. Many organizations, they don't have a formal R&D department, but you can foster to have some kind of R&D in your organization that experiments, and don't be afraid to fail. That's part of the learning experience. Enable successful leadership, strong leadership advocacy, ongoing education and training, agile and adaptive project management models is important. I'm not saying that we're going to forget about, because agile doesn't fit all project needs. So, but I would say hybrid, but if you can go into full agile, if that the projects permit that, so you can do it. Continuous feedback and improvement and recognition, so the digital champions and innovation drivers is to have a competition in the organization, that everyone is looking, how can we do better, how can we leverage on the system technologies, and do those changes as part of the cultural change in the organization. Everything needs to be measured. I have some metrics that can be used. For example, project cycle time, task completion rate, resource utilization rate, cost variance, and some other metrics are important to take into consideration in the digital world. And you have heard that many times. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it, you can control it. So digital tools to justify the ROI. So everything is an investment, and most of the organization, everybody is struggling, regardless of the industry that you are. So you need to show your business case, the value proposition. So it's important for you to learn how to present a value proposition to the management. Everything is about investment. So reduce cost delays and cost overrun. So, but you need to convert that into monetary action. Faster decision making with real-time data, better forecasting and planning accuracy. Less manual means more strategic project time. So I don't need to invest a lot of time doing manual things that can be automated. It's time that I have to add more value to the organization and support the organization moving forward. Increase visibility, control, and stakeholder trust. Those are some kind of the justification for the ROI, but you need to put numbers to each of those, so the organization see that's something that we want to invest. Okay, so we already mentioned about AI for scheduling and risk forecasting, IoT in the case of construction, to enable site monitoring, blockchain for contracting and financial transactions transparency, and digital twin for simulation and predictive analytics. So there's some scenario here, but we're not gonna go into those. So some key takeaway from this conversation. So digital tools enhance but don't replace project leadership. So tools are tools. You need to do your own judgment as a human, so the human touch is there. So there's a lot of, I would say, threats that by 2030, 80% of the project management tasks will be replaced by AI. But AI won't replace you. So we need humans. So I don't think so. Probably maybe the next generation see something like that, but we don't see that replacement. So AI and any other tool is to have a better version of you as a professional, and you need to leverage on those tools to be better you. So strategic thinking is important. That's an essential skill, and adaptability is so essential in the world that we live to remain relevant for the organization. Success depends on embracing change, not resisting it. So technology is there to help us, not to to replace us. So don't resist change. That's gonna happen regardless. And be the drivers of innovation, not a passenger of disruption. So you don't want to be the passenger, you want to be the driver. So be an agent of change in innovation and adopting new tools. So that requires experimentation and taking risk, calculated risk. So the digital project manager combines digital fluency with strategic thinking, leverage on AI, automation, data analytics to enhance decision making, acts as a change agents and digital transformation champion, prioritizes adaptability, stakeholder engagement, and continuous learning, and balances human-centered leadership with digital innovation. As I said, technology will help to be a better version of yourself, and you need to leverage on those. But you, we need you. We need. We are humans, and we are the one that we decided. Technology won't manage us. We manage technology. Rethinking project leadership from task manager to be more strategic innovator, using, as I said, AI tools to predictive planning, optimizing resources and risk management, cultivate AI fluency across teams to build digital readiness, balance automation with emotional intelligence, and another important skill, developing your emotional intelligence and human insight, and promote ethical and responsible use of AI in project environments. So don't realize 100% and everything that you get out of the generative AI. So it's your responsibility to validate, to evaluate everything that comes out of those tools. And that's it. That's set about the discussion. So if you have any questions, again, this is my QR. If you want to connect with me and continue with the conversation, that I love to talk about this. So I'm more willing to do it.
Thank you very much, Tony, for such an insightful and engaging presentation. It's it's quite to feel that project management digital innovation. Gosh, it is. And so we have one question that has coming. If you have more questions, please put them in the chat. Yes, we've got questions coming. So the first one is, with the revolution of Gen AI and agentic AI, I think in the future, project leadership will be replaced in terms of planning, scheduling, forecasting, risk management, real-time reporting, logs, and so on, leading to take decision. And here appears the real leadership. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that can be automated, but the ingenious, you human touch, that will be very difficult to automate. So we don't know exactly how the brain works. So how can we automate something that we don't know? So while we need to work with the organization, so that, as I mentioned, so we need to become more a strategic thinker. How can we help this organization to be on the top, the better, on the better, leveraging on those technology? So innovating products, different services that can be done and connect that with the strategic objectives of the organization too. So you need to focus more on your leadership abilities, understanding the business acumen, understanding the business and the industry that you work for. That's going to add the value for you as a professional. Because as you said, a lot of things going to be automated. So there will be a day that I don't need to do anything for, let's say, to prepare a schedule, project schedule. So I just need to press the button. This is the project. This is the scenario. So probably we gather the data with IoT devices. All of a sudden, so I had the schedule. Maybe I don't need to I concern or think about the scheduling because everything gonna be automated in a workflow. And there's some existing use cases that PMI they have certification that they call it a practical AI, where there are a lot of use cases that you connect this tool with other tool, the data, and so you only need to make the decision, and that's when the agentic AI coming into place, that you have everything that you rely on the data, and we the human, we're going to allow the machine to make those decisions for us. But still we need the leadership and the people behind those things. So it's like the autonomous cars. So you need people to use the car. So that's the automation will do the car to move by itself. But
Yeah.
that's I said. So it's an opportunity for us to step up and be more leaders and focus on the real problems that we don't see it.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think that answers also the next question, which is about the aspects of project management that basically are safe from AI that cannot be done by AI. And I think you already explained very well about this strategic thinking and the leadership and still quite a lot of decision making on strategic aspects of the project. So we've got another question here. As someone who is going into project management for the first time, what aspects or methodologies would you advise I spend more time on?
If you're, let me mention. So PMI have the talent triangle. So for everyone that wanna be involved in the project management world, in the project management industry, so you can use the talent triangle as a reference. So in the triangle, there are three factors. One is the business acumen. So what does mean? So again, you need to become a strategic ally of the organization. You need to understand the business, the industry where you work. If you work in healthcare, so you need to know exactly what the executives or the leaders of those organizations know about the market, about the product, the service, how this organization innovate, the regulators, all those kind of things. The other side is about power skills. And there are many. Before we talk about leadership, no, there are many. Strategic thinking, collaboration, collaborative leadership, um, emotional intelligence, all of those things I say that will be the most important side of the triangle because that will makes a differentiation of you versus the other. So enhancing those leadership skills, that should be the focus of any leader, any aspirant project manager. And the other thing is the toolkits that you need to have, how to implement things, how to deliver. So you have three approaches. So you have the agile, you need to understand agile. You need to understand the predictive methodologies, waterfall, and also the hybrid. So those three approaches. So you need to understand those in order to be, I would say, a thought leader in project management. So going around the triangle and make a plan. So one of the other things that anything shouldn't be by accident. So I always suggest people that you need to have IDP. IDP is an individual development plan. And this is ongoing. And you can think about your individual development plan in sprints. So think agile. So in this sprint, what skill are you going to develop in this sprint, in the 2 weeks or 4 weeks? In the next sprint, what skills I need to develop? And have your eye open around the world, what's going on in these planets, what's happening, what's changing, what new technology. So that gonna help you to be a thought leader in this industry.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So at the moment, we don't have any other question in the chat, but I have a question, and actually a very basic question that maybe people are asking also. When we see so all this digital shift that you've talked about, and as you mentioned, every day there's a new tool coming out, and to put it in a real world of project managers. So we're here, project managers. We spend the whole day managing projects. How can project managers get and keep up to date about all these tools and all these things? We talk about AI, we talk about cloud computing, we talk about Internet of Things, and I guess for some project managers it's just kind of words. And yeah, so how can a project manager go about to make sure that they understand and they're up to date to then afterwards with their stakeholders make the correct choice about their own digital shift?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's about discipline because I think that we have too much distraction. We have distraction with news, things that happen in TV. So you need to set your time to recharge. So it's about discipline. So, and a lot of people say, I don't have the time. But also you need scope management. So we are project manager. So you won't be great in everything. So sometimes you need to become a generalist. So you are aware of. If you need to deep dive on those things because now you work for a company that requires that kind of knowledge, so then you focus on that. But don't try to embrace everything because you're gonna get crisis and you're not gonna get anything. So it's about discipline. Like every day, for example, you need to learn about artificial intelligence and understanding what is machine learning, what is deep learning, what is generative AI, large language models. But if you're gonna learn about, for example, machine learning, how to apply, so you're gonna go into math, modelings, and all kind of that. It's too complex. So it depends what you wanna do, but you need to narrow the scope and manage as a project. So these years, I want to become more knowledgeable about AI. So that's your plan. And then, but as a plan, you need to have your schedules. how many books you're gonna read, how many webinars are you gonna participate in, uh, courses, certification. So you need to have for that reason I said is build your IDP, your individual development plan, and follow your plan. So that's my piece of advice for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So everyone, get ready with your individual professional development plan. Okay, what are you doing this weekend? Are you planning your personal development? Okay, so thank you very much, Tony. We're coming at the end of this webinar. So I want to thank you and thank everyone who came today to listen to a wonderful speaker. And thank you all on behalf of IPM. And I wish you to all, yeah, we've got to rest. No, okay. Sorry, I thought we had a rest hand. And so wish you all a very nice rest of the day and a very good weekend.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. And I wish the best for everyone that attended. Just change the mindset to be better version of you. Emotional intelligence and artificial intelligence. That's yeah. Thank you very much for having me today, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.